I just wanted to spend a few moments of your time and introduce myself. I'm Samantha. Hello. Thank you for supporting me and viewing this video. So yeah, the purpose of this video is to introduce myself and share kind of how this channel came about, because I realized that you don't know much about me. So allow me to share some of that. So I'm married with 3 children, and I don't share much of them on my channel because I feel like I want them to have the choice of whether or not they want to be on the channel or on social media. My youngest is only 4 years old, and I don't think she's old enough to really share or make the decision and be like, I want to be on social media, you know? She's just too young, and I don't want her to regret it later on. So I'm sorry if you don't like that or if that bothers you at all, then I do apologize. But at the current moment, I'm just not comfortable sharing any of the information on them besides like their gender and maybe their age. I do share a little bit more about my husband. I don't really share any pictures or videos of his face, and that's really for the same reason, for like his privacy, I guess. And that's not to say like if you know us personally, then that's fine. I mean, it's not like a huge secret who we are or what we look like. It's just I'm not sure if I feel comfortable sharing all of those details on social media, at least not yet. I do try to be vulnerable and honest for the most part, because I feel like the society and people these days are so impersonal. Like you kind of feel kind of disassociated. And I just want to share some of life's troubles and some stuff that we've, and especially I've gone through personally, just to try to help others. I have this strong desire to help others, which was the main reason for me to start this channel. So I'll start from my childhood and give you a little bit of background. I grew up poor, and I'll give you a little bit of details to that because I feel like there's different levels of poor. Like on one side, there's the kind of poor where you're kind of stable, like your family has money to pay the bills for the most part. You might fall behind a little here and there, but for the most part, the bills get paid. On the other side, and I only say that because I knew someone who said, like when I told him I grew up poor, he was like, oh yeah, I grew up poor too. But then when we shared stories, like they didn't connect. They kind of clashed a little bit. So the kind of poor that I grew up in was kind of unstable. Like I feared being evicted and losing my home and being homeless quite often. And there were often times we had nothing in the cupboard. Sometimes it was just canned stuff that we had gotten from the food pantry. I actually made this soup. I call it poor man soup because it consists of things that we would have left over from the food pantry. So like I threw in a can of chicken noodle soup, like 3 cans of vegetables, just whatever was there, carrots, corn, peas, and green beans. That was what was left in the pantry. So I would throw all of that into a pot, and then I would take like flour, or if we had pancakes mix, I would use that, or baking mix, and I would make like dumplings, and I would put that on top and put a lid on it. And it actually came out tasting really good. So that's like my poor man soup. So like stories like that. And I remember there were many times, more than I like to admit, like I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but we had to wash our clothes in the bathtub. And it wasn't like just a shirt here or an outfit there. It was like we washed all of our clothes for a week in the bathtub because we didn't have a washer. I think ours had broke or something. And we had no money to go to the laundromat to wash our laundry. So we would just wash them in the bathtub. And I would tell him these stories and he's like, "Oh, that's weird." And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I grew up poorer than you." So when I say I grew up poor, that's what I mean. And I don't mean to bash my parents. They actually did really good raising me. But I do want to just say this to bring it out there. Like, they didn't know how to manage money and they didn't know how to budget. So I saw firsthand what happens in instances like that. So my father worked odd jobs on and off, and when he got paid, we would go and we would go shopping, and it was like our day out, and then we would spend all of his money in one day, and then we wouldn't have enough money for gas. Like, when we went places, when we had to go from point A to point B, we were putting in like $5 here, $10 there, whatever to get us from point A to B. We never had a full gas tank. And I firmly believed that if you could fill your gas tank, then you were rich. That was one of my beliefs as a kid growing up being poor. And I don't say this to bash my parents. Like, I don't want to shame them at all. This is not saying they were bad parents. I just say it to like emphasize the need for kids to learn budgeting and managing money in schools. Like, there's clearly a lack there. And I saw firsthand. My mother often told me, she would tell me this, that her parents never involved them in their finances. So she didn't understand why we wanted to be involved in my parents' finances. I think she felt ashamed or embarrassed. She didn't want her kids to be involved in the finances. But when you're getting evicted and you're risking homelessness and the electricity is getting shut off and your kids have to go without lights or hot water, like, you can't not involve your kids in stuff like that. Your kids know. They're not stupid. Like, I knew what was going on. So I would often ask. And I think she was just embarrassed to admit stuff like that. But it wasn't her fault. Like she was never taught this stuff. And it's a shame. I think it's one of our downfalls. So I grew up around that. So when I got on my own, I had the same mentality. Like, I didn't know how to manage money or budget. So I fell into that same trap. My husband would get paid or I would get paid, and we would go and have our spend day and spend all of that money in one day. And then I'd be like, we don't have gas money. Like, how am I supposed to get back and forth to work if I can't put gas in the car? You know what I mean? But these things don't click. So we kind of struggled, and the breaking point was actually when we had a 2 and 3-year-old. It wasn't until our kids were 2 and 3 that we actually hit that breaking point and started paying the bills on time. And it was mainly because I was like, my kids don't deserve to have their electricity shut off or to be evicted and fear being homeless. Like, they deserve stability. I didn't want my kids growing up the way that I grew up. And again, I'm not shaming my parents. If I'm saying anything, I'm saying the opposite. Like, I wouldn't have all of this knowledge, and I'd probably be very horribly financially still if my parents didn't teach me all of that, you know? So I tell you these stories twofold. Number one, so you don't blame yourself. Like, don't blame yourself if you don't know how to budget or manage your money. You were never taught. How are you supposed to know this if you're not taught it? And I was actually really good at math, the subject of math in schools. It was one that I excelled in. I took math, regular math, basic math, algebra, algebra 2, statistics, trigonometry. Like, I took just about geometry. I took all of the math courses that they offered, and I still had trouble with budgeting. Like, I didn't know how to balance a checkbook or make a budget, or let alone follow a budget. They don't teach you that in schools. And I often wonder, like, I don't use a lot of the knowledge that I gained in school, taking all those math courses. Yeah, I use some, but the information that would have been a lot more beneficial for me is if they spent a year teaching me how to make a budget, how to stick to the budget, how to meal plan, how to meal prep, like how to grocery shop, like teach me those things. The problem is they rely on the parents to do it, but when the parents aren't taught it and they don't know how to do it themselves, how are they supposed to teach their kids? So yeah, first, don't blame yourself. Like, you were never taught it, but you can learn it. Watch the videos in my channel. I do my best to try to teach you the way that I know to budget and make a meal plan. And like, watch, I'm trying to help you guys. And number two, don't blame your parents. Like, they were never taught this. They were in the same situation that you're in. They didn't know how to budget, how to manage money. They only did what they could with the knowledge that they were given. So if you grew up poor and you did not learn how to budget or manage money like I did, don't blame your parents. Okay, so moving along to why I started this channel. I have a strong desire to help others and to teach, like, to share my knowledge with others. And I really hope that the information that I put on my channel, the videos that I make, I hope that it helps you, that you find value in it. And if it doesn't, that's fine. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you choose not to watch my videos or subscribe to my channel. Maybe you just don't vibe with me. That's fine. I understand. There's certain people I don't vibe with. So I understand. But hopefully for some of you, like, I provide value and I can actually help you, because that's my goal. In these videos, I'm talking to myself 10 years ago. Like, this is information that I would have wanted to know when I was younger. This is information that would have helped me back then to make better financial decisions and to save money. And what really got me thinking, I need to start a channel on this, is when I quit my full-time job, I was like brainstorming and like, how can I get my budget bare minimum, like drop my expenses to the lowest they can get. And I was watching a ton of videos, doing a bunch of research, and they're like, do this, this, this. And I'm like, I'm already doing this, 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 plus I'm doing this and this. Like, I could add to the videos. And I'm like, you know what? I need to share. Like, I need to share with people. Do this, 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 and this, and this, and then you will find success. So yeah, I kind of have firsthand knowledge in knowing what it's like when you're not good financially, and when you buy the processed foods instead of making things from scratch. I didn't know how to make a lot of stuff from scratch. Like, I didn't know many recipes. You know what I grew up on? Meat, potatoes, and vegetables. I grew up on government assistance and we got food stamps. So when those food stamps hit, or whatever, when we got paid the food stamps, whatever you want to call it, when we got those, the day we got those, my parents would go shopping and we would stock the freezer full of meat, and they would get a huge 50-pound bag of potatoes. And that's pretty much what we ate. Yeah, she'd make like pancakes for breakfast, or eggs for breakfast, or whatever. But I mainly remember the meat, potatoes, and vegetables. Like, I didn't know how to make beans. I didn't know how to make rice. So I had to teach myself all of that. If I had a channel like the one I'm making now to view all of this stuff, like, I try to teach you guys how to make beans, how to make rice, how to make all of that from scratch, and then put it together so that it tastes delicious, so that you want to eat it, so that you want to make it again. And not only that, but I try to make it easy so that even if you have a busy schedule, you can still make affordable meals. You don't have to go out to eat. So I hope I succeed in teaching you guys that stuff so that it's able to help you. So there's kind of like my history in a nutshell. Growing up poor, getting with my now husband, having our 2 kids, reaching that breaking point of wanting to do better financially, and then getting where I am now. And when I reached that breaking point, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do better. From now on, the bills are getting paid on time, It wasn't like immediately everything was perfect, It wasn't like I paid the bills on time from then on. It was more like a kind of like an up and down until more ups than there were down. But like I do good for 2 weeks and then I was like, nope, I miss shopping, and I'd go spend it. And the next time I'd pick myself back up. I'd do good for a month before I had a downward spiral or whatever you want to call it, before I had to slip up. And the next time it was 3 months and then I'd slip up. And the next time like 6 months. Like it was gradual, but eventually I was able to like stay picked up and not spiral back down to my old habits. So keep that in mind. If you do have your breaking point and like decide to do better, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be linear. It's going to be more like a roller coaster ride. You're going to spiral up, spiral down, spiral up, spiral down. The only thing you can hope for is that there's more going up than there is going down, And then one day you'll be like, wow, like I'm doing pretty good. I'm proud of myself, Like if my 10-year-old self could see me now, they'd be quite surprised, I mean, one day you'll wake up and you'll be like, look at all this knowledge I've gained, and let me share it with other people. Yeah, so that's pretty much my story in a nutshell that has progressed to being here, like making these YouTube videos. And it's funny because I'm the happiest I've ever been, like sharing these stories, sharing myself, making these videos, just creating. I haven't been this happy. I don't know if I've ever been this happy. I mean, yeah, I love spending time with my family and my children, but I mean, as a whole, like enjoying what I do. And the funny part, I've been getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning just because I can't wait to create. I can't wait to share, to make something that I actually want to make, to work doing something that I want to do. And I haven't really shared much in my personal life, like with people that I know. I haven't really shared with them, been like, I've been making YouTube videos because I don't know how they'll react. Like, it's not really a career or a job to make YouTube videos, but I don't really want a career or a job. You know what I mean? I want something, I just want to make my soul happy. And that's what I'm doing. This makes my soul happy. Like, why else would someone get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? And I feel like this is what I was meant to do. Like every step along the way, I believe, or I don't believe in regretting anything, because I believe that every step that you take is kind of like a progression. Each thing teaches you something. Like I take a little bit from there, a little bit from there. I was good at math in high school, so I take that and I'm like, yep, that knowledge is stuck in there. And then like I'm really good at Canva and making stuff in Canva. So I take that and I'm like, poop. And like the Microsoft suite. I love Word and I really, really love Excel. And I like creating stuff in there. Like my budget is in Excel. So I make stuff in there and I'm like, whoop. Yep, need that information. But I didn't learn all of that at once. It was like, I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to make a budget. Like, how can I do this? And I pulled up Excel and taught myself how to make a budget in Excel. And I use it for calculating when calculating stuff faster than my brain can calculate. And like Canva, I used to make thumbnails. Um, and when I started using Canva, like I used that for flyers for like a group that I'm in. And I don't remember why I started using it in the first place. Oh, I think it was for like crafts or something, but I used it to make like bookmarks. Canva, I just love Canva. I just want to hug it. I want to hug Canva. And but like every step of the way, I'm like, let me teach myself that. You know, I love learning. I love teaching myself. And like I had a job where I worked in a factory. I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it. So like when I started it, I'm like, ooh, money, money, money. Like I like the money. I can save more money. I can put more money in retirement. And then I'm like, these guys are so ignorant and so mean to me because I'm a woman working in a man's world. Like, and it kind of made me like more confident. I'm like, I'm going to show them that tell me a woman can't do it. And like, I stuck it out for so long. And it's like, I took pieces of that, like, even though I didn't like it, I stuck it out. I'm like, I have the grit, so let me take that and psh. And all of this stuff, eventually it's like, I have the grit to make videos. I have the knowledge to make videos. I have the understanding to make videos. I have a college degree, guys. I have a bachelor's degree in healthcare related. And that's when I learned my joy for learning. I learned when I went for my bachelor's degree, I also learned my love for psychology. I mean, all of these things have just lined right up to do what I'm doing now. And it's not to say that this is the end. This might just be, I don't know, what do they say? What do they mean when they say it's a means to an end? Maybe it's something like that. This is just where I am right now. It doesn't mean that I'll be doing this forever. And it doesn't mean that it's not leading to somewhere else in the future. Like life is so wonderful and so amazing. And even when you feel like you're down and out and you have a hard time picking yourself back up, you gotta know that it's just another step along the progression. You will learn something that will help you in the future. Look at how many people have made good from evil. There's a book out there. If you've ever read the book, Man's Search for Meaning, I think it is. It's by a man. I'll put a picture or a link or something to it. I'll let you know what it is. Man's Search for Meaning. And it's about a man, Auschwitz, I believe. And he came out of it. It's a phenomenal book. I mean, I like psychology, and that's kind of like where it is. But it just explains a little bit about what a brain goes through when they're in so much like mental turmoil. When they, it's kind of like hope versus losing hope. Like when you have hope, you stay alive. But the minute you lose it, like you're down and out, you gotta know that no matter what life brings you, it's just another step in the progression to take you to where you're meant to be, to fulfill your purpose in life. And I don't want to get all woo-woo and be like, oh, everybody has a purpose in life. You know, you're going towards your purpose in life. But I do believe that we all have a purpose in life. And we need to kind of like not regret where we are along the path. I spent so long kind of like regretting things I had done and blaming myself and other people in my life and being like, if that had happened to me, if I hadn't grown up poor, um, things like that, then I would have a better life. If my parents had money, if they had bought me a new car when I was 16. But the truth is, if they had done all of that, I would not be where I am today. I would not have the knowledge to make these videos. If I had not had to wash clothes in my bathtub when I was a teenager, like, I would not know that I just wouldn't be as frugal as I am today. And that has made me better financially in every aspect of my life. And I don't want to say that it's just financially that it's improved my life. I am definitely more peaceful, more at peace than I felt like in the past, than I've ever felt. Like, knowing that my bills are paid on time, it gives me peace. Knowing that I have a little buffer in the savings account in case an emergency pops up. And I want you guys to know what that feels like. I want everybody to know that peace. So yeah, that's kind of like how this channel came about. And I hope it helps you. If you do find it helpful, if you find my channel helpful, then feel free to subscribe. If you don't vibe, again, not going to hurt my feelings. If you do, then please share it. Like, I'm trying to reach more people. I'm trying to help more people. I'm trying to help others like the person I was 10 years ago. So share my channel. And if there's any information, anything you need help with, any aspect in your life, like financially or meal prepping or meal planning or like reducing your budget, then comment down below. Like, let me know what kind of information you need, what kind of content you need, what kind of help do you need. I'm trying to provide a valuable content to you guys, and it helps if you tell me what you need.